Hello world. Some people on Facebook might think they're sick of me, but guess what? You might not be. It might be 2087. That's why I'm doing this video. Over there at Blue Station Wagon, the one in between, is the Volvo 240DL from the 1980s. And my dad had one. He had two. He had a Mercedes-Benz. And, I just want to say it's going to be a real short video, but it's still an important one. When I talked to Michelle Fry, the wife of the Grand Mason that sold us our first home, and the people that I came to when I told them, my dad's sleeping with a 7-year-old boy, can you please help? They did nothing. Instead, Michelle Fry's actual response to me, like one of the very first things she said, you should go ahead and go on back to work. Go back to work. If you've been homeless for over 500 days. At the time I was homeless for over 400 days. But, it's just going back to work. People know they need to go back to work. Michelle Fry was in the newspaper, quoted when her son went to Afghanistan, with lots of stories about how important it was to be home and to be with family. She said nothing. I don't recall anything about her said, I hope this war can be over so Nathan can go back to work. My father has never went back to work. He has never worked the way a father should. He has a 6,000 square foot home that he made me homeless in 2016. I know, if I don't say these words, you might not know for sure. So let me say them. Come on, Mount Airy, North Carolina, America's #1 TV hometown. You had my mom's divorce attorney as your delegate for over 16 years. Can you do any better than this? Todd Michelle Fry. Supposed to be the best of our hometown. If I can't trust Todd Fry to do what's right, then who can I? Because it also hasn't been our pastors, and it hasn't been the recently retired superintendent of the school system up there where he lives. So, I wanted the Frys to say the words, this is awful, Nathan. You're not alone. We're going to do what we can to help. If anyone ever tells you their father's asleep with a 7-year-old boy, those words need to be said. Even if you don't know quite what to do it. Say those words and care, and never stop caring, because I can't. As far as going back to work, I know some people out there are like, well, why don't you just go back to work? I did. I have. I went and got up and went back to work as many times as I could. I had been robbed of my Social Security card, license, and birth certificate 10 times while homeless. Okay? I'm going back to work at a convenience store right now. I'm trying to get a second job, but I have to secure where I'm going to stay next week. I have got the next 2 weeks after that kind of buttoned up, but I have to be successful at a convenience store job and then another job. And I also still need to find out where am I going to stay those nights. What I really wanted out of Michelle, besides the help with the first thing, as far as being homeless, since she knows how important it is to be with family. And her son is also named Nathan. There's 2 boys, grew up on Cherry Street, Mount Airy. One went to Afghanistan. And I will always buy that man cheer wine and thank him for his service. It's important for me to say those words too. It's important that my father was paid to do a mural for Raynell, West Virginia for the Run for the Wall Vietnam Veterans Motorcycle Ride. This is the last stop before they go to Washington, D.C. And Raynell has had a very long and great history welcoming Vietnam veterans and their families to their city before they get to D.C. That's the people my father never completed work for. But I wanted Michelle to have compassion. I wanted her to care. I know to go back to work. That's all I've ever been doing. I used to work at a convenience store the year before I went homeless, and I quit that job to work for an employer that would later, it was going to be an employer that had more hours and better pay. They turned out to be racist, and after 58 years, they're no longer in business. But it took a toll on me. And the last 567 days have. Number one might not be the same anymore, but it's still the best, and there's nothing like it. Sugar pie, honey bunch, you know that I love you. I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else.